Yo, what is going on today, guys? It is Sam, better known as Samito, coming at you guys live with my Season 4 hero tier list. I do not have the LifeWeaver icon here, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that first. So if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I appreciate having you guys around. Let's get right into it. So, LifeWeaver actually just got a buff before release. That's never happened before. His heal charge, instead of going up to 65 health at 1.2 seconds, that's now 1 second, right? So that is important to note before we rank him. I think I would put him in A tier, right? I'm not convinced that he is going to be really strong into what's good. I think he could be very good with Ram, right? And Ram Rush, and he's very good against Dive. This hero very well could be S tier, right? I just haven't seen enough from him, and teams have not had time to learn him yet. I definitely think on the maps that have like escort maps that with like a lot of high grounds that are difficult to get to, he allows for heroes to be played that normally couldn't, like Cassidy on the sniper maps like Jib second, right? Or anywhere where you need to get up to high ground quickly. I think that LifeWeaver can definitely make that option happen, but I'm not sold that he's like as good. I don't think he's as good as Kiriko was when Kiriko came out. Like Kiriko was just absolutely insane because she could do everything in the game. LifeWeaver's damage is not as much there as Kiriko's was. And I think his ult isn't as good as Kitsune was when it came out. But I still think he's a very solid pick, and I think that especially like against Dive where you can just pedal yourself up in the air, it's going to be really good. But I think that what's going to make him valuable, it's going to take players a lot of time to actually learn, and I don't think people know that as of right now. So LifeWeaver, I would have an A tier. I don't think he's bad, but I'm not convinced that he's that Kiriko tier character, right? Bastion, if Ram Rush stays good, Bastion, I think, is actually going to be A tier. I think that Bastion's very good against like the brawl, right? You saw Ryan Bastion brawl get played a lot when Reinhardt was getting played, but not as much against the Ram comp. I think if Rush is played, Bastion is a really underrated pick. He can put out insane amounts of damage, and he's really good at catching off meta heroes. Like if they're playing Monkey or like Hog or something, and they have a Hog player, and then you just go Bastion with like a Bap Ana, you just win, right? You just absolutely floor. So I think Bastion's an underrated pick right now. I think I underrated him in several other patches, but again, it's only in those right situations. Like in that situation where Bastion thrives is pretty common due to indirect changes in the meta. Cassidy got slightly nerfed to 200 health and also had his magnetic grenade nerfed, but I still think he's going to be an A tier pick. I still think Cass is really, really good. I think, especially in the ranked environment, like you can just pick him up and put out a ton of damage. Like the damage reduction on the roll is insane. The damage reduction on the high noon is still insane. So that 25 health, I think, just gets him more in line with where he should be. But I still think he's a really, really solid pick. I wouldn't put him in S tier, but I definitely think he is A tier. D.va in ranked, I think is pretty good, to be honest. But with Brig being what she is, I'm gonna have to rank her at B tier because Brig is very good into D.va, especially with the new rally. Like it's just you don't want to be a character that gives Brig the ability to build rally quickly, considering how OP rally is going to be. And if anybody, we'll get to Brig. We'll get to Brig. So I'm putting D.va in B tier. Genji. I mean, I think Genji is just going to be horrible, honestly, unless there is a chance that on a Brig Dive comes back, right? If it's on a Brig Winston, then Genji can get some playtime. But I think people just swap Ball into that, like Ball Echo or something, and then you're just kind of screwed. So I don't know. I want to rank Genji higher, but especially with these Brig buffs coming in, like if Brig Ana comes in, Nanoblade might be able to do something, but I'm not sold on Genji. I think there's just way better picks out there than Genji, especially if they go like a Ball comp. So Hanzo, I'm going to put in B tier. And the reason why I'm putting Hanzo in B tier is that even though he's a sniper, these rush comps are very good for him, right? Like the Hanzo's very weird. He's a sniper that's only good in rush, right? So May Hanzo rush, obviously, with Ram, Rhyme, whatever it may be, is really, really good because of the sonar, and just the occasional random one-shot with Dragon Strike on these maps is good. So, it's just Hanzo fitting into that meta better. I don't think he himself particularly, like, excels compared to, like, the rest of his role, but just in the situations, like those rush brawls and those rush mirrors, like, kind of like how I used to play Hanzo, he's just really, really good. So, yeah, we're going to put him in B tier due to his success in the rush comp. My man, J-Sil. I think Junkrat in ranked is B tier, to be honest. Like, I still think there's a ton of situations where Junkrat can get value, especially with Riptire being good. Like, he has his maps. Like, if you're good at Junkrat, you can force him. My man, J-Sil. But he's definitely not the best DPS. But, you know, it's just situation. Like, I feel like the Junkrat specialists definitely are still getting value, even if it's not insane value. Lucio. See, on the right map, Lucio's really good, and I'm going to put Lucio in A tier, mostly because Ram Rush is really good right now. I think especially with these Ryan nerfs, which we will get to, Ram didn't get touched, and Ram Rush was already slowly edging out Ryan comps. Come towards the end of Season 3, I think a lot more teams were playing Ram Rush over the Ryan Rush, just because the ult usage is just so good, and Ram's just much more versatile than Ryan is. So I was shocked to see Ryan get nerfed and not Ram. It's probably because low SR players aren't good enough to get value on Ram, but Ryan is very skillful as Kiro. So because of that, Lucio, I think, is A tier. He, again, can get a lot of value on these rush maps, especially with the map pool opening back up. So I think Lucio is, without a doubt, A tier. And Mei, I'm also going to put in A tier. I think Mei's a hero you can play almost anywhere, to be honest with you. I think she's really, really good. She didn't get touched this patch. Obviously, she's my main. I was the highest ranked Mei player on the NA ladder this season. I think I hit rank 13 on the character. So she's good. She's definitely a good hero. I think she's in a good spot. Definitely more of a specialist character, though. But I think that she's pretty strong in the right place, especially with the rush comps being good. That means Mei is also good, which means she's going to see a lot of playtime. Now, Mercy got some changes as well. Thank God that healing got reverted. I'm going to put Mercy in B tier. Like, I think she's a good pick still, to be honest with you. Like, she still has that new healing chains where she heals from healing people, which I think is busted. I just think that the rush comps are kind of better, and I think that if you're playing like a flyer comp with these Brig buffs, you're going to be playing Brig Zen or Brig Ana over the Mercy pick, in my opinion. I just see that happening, so I think that she's just going to get a little bit overshadowed. I do not think she's a bad character, though. She's definitely not a bad character. She definitely has those situations where she's good. Pharah, I'm also going to put in B tier. Obviously, you guys are not Yazan who can force it anywhere, but I think that with the Mercy changes getting reverted, it also lines up Pharah Mercy a little bit better, and that Pharah's not getting that crazy health boost when she's under half health, meaning that like other heroes, specifically projectile characters, actually have a chance to kill the hero this patch, which we did not last patch. So yeah, I think Pharah has her maps that she's really strong, but it's situational for sure. Reaper. I'm going to put Reaper in B tier. I don't think Reaper is C tier because obviously he can be good in rush comps, but he's just not as good as Cass or Hanzo in rush, in my opinion, or even Bastion for that matter. So yeah, I'm gonna put Reaper in B tier. I think he's playable, but the higher up you go, the harder it's going to be to force him. Like, you don't play a Reaper over a Hanzo or a Cass, or a Bastion in the rush mirror here. So yeah, Rhine. I'm going to put Ryan in B tier. Like, I think that, like, his nerfs aren't going to hurt him that much. I just think Ram is better in the rush comp. So, like, there's definitely, like, Ryan will get value. Like, I think Ryan and Hanzo I almost want to put in B+ and Reaper in B-. Unfortunately, I can't zone it out like that. But I think Ryan is good. Like, Ryan is absolutely still pickable, especially if you're a low-ranked player. It's just when you get up to those higher ranks, you're probably going to want to start playing Ram instead. But Ryan is absolutely pickable all the way through GM. I just don't think he's going to excel as much as he did the previous season. Hog is horrible. I think Hog is so bad, and that's where he should be. This character probably should not be good. I think his design is just not... I don't think his design has been healthy for the game since we went to 2-2-2. I think he's an open queue hero. I think that hero was designed with the mind for open queue, and the game's not open queue anymore. So we're going to go ahead and put him in C tier alongside Genji. I think he's really bad. Soldier, I'm also going to put in, like, low B tier. The recoil nerfs are nice, but, like, he doesn't do as much as Cass does, right? He doesn't have the damage reduction. He doesn't have the mobility. Like, Cass can roll out of dives, reduce damage, hit the flash, right? Soldier's a very bare bones character in that regard, and I think that's where he should be. Like, I don't think he's, like, a super crazy character that should be doing crazy things. But he definitely is. If you like playing Soldier, you can probably play Soldier in a lot of situations, but he's definitely not, like, a crazy, insane hero. Symmetra, I'm going to put Sim in B tier too. I think in a lot of rush comps, she could be really, really strong, especially if you know when to play her. Like, obviously on maps like Nepal, she's really, really good. Maps like Lijiang, she's really, really good. So specifically those Koths, she's strong. It's just like the maps where it's not Koth, she's just not as strong. So I put her in B tier because in the right situation, she's incredibly strong, but she needs to be a pocket pick. You should not be maining Symmetra. You should be like playing her on the maps where she's very good and excelling, and then trying to find another pick for yourself on the maps like Circuit Royale or something like that, right? But no, I think Sim definitely, and honestly, Sim and LifeWeaver could interact very well with each other. That could be kind of a broken combo. We'll see though. Okay, like the double TP, right? Torb. I think Torb really fell off when his turret got nerfed. you know, he's all right. I think he's not A tier. I think he's just B tier. If you like playing Torb, you can definitely pick the character and get value on him all the way up to GM. Molten Core is really, really good, especially against like Kiriko and Kitsune and like Bap Window, Ramble, etc., etc. He's just not as good as like the A tier DPS in my opinion. He can put out a ton of damage. His turret on the right maps can be very, very good, but he's definitely not A or S tier. But he's a decent pick on the right map. I think his best map type was probably 2CP, so that being removed didn't do him any favors. I think he does still kind of excel on certain hybrid maps, though, where they have to cap the first point. You can angle your turret. Tracer, I still think Tracer's S tier. She's just such a strong hero on her own. Again, if Ball Dive comes back, she has those comps where she's running. She's great with Pharah comps. Tracer can be run almost anywhere except for like as Rush. So, like, when Rush is really good, she struggles, but there's a ton of maps where she's just extremely viable on, right, where she can push card on her own. She's just so versatile. Most of the maps, you're going to be able to get a lot of value on Tracer, especially if you're good. So, Tracer, definitely S tier. Widow. Dude, I'm going to put Widow in A tier. I think Widow in ranked is just so good. If you get Widow on the right map specifically, if you don't have a Widow and they do, or vice versa, the Widowmaker just dominates the lobby, right? There's very few heroes that can completely change the game just by being picked. Widow is one of them. If you get the basic mechanical skill set on the character, you can just absolutely dominate ranked games. And it's just, there's just nothing the other team can really do to you. So Widow, I'm putting in A tier specifically because in the situations where she's good, she's not just good. She is the most dominant character in the game on these maps. So Winston, his bubble did get nerfed, but with Brig being better and Sleep Dart getting nerfed, I still think Winston comps are really good. I can't put him anywhere below A tier. I can't. I don't think he's S tier, right? I don't think he's quite an S tier character, but he's almost there. Like, if his bubble wasn't nerfed, I think he would be. I think you're probably going to see a lot of Winston playtime this next season if Ana Brig comps find their way back into the meta. Obviously, Nano Monkey is insanely good, and now the Anas can still Nano Monkey, but they can't sleep the whole duration, so it could end up being very, very strong. Zarya, I'm going to put in B tier. I think she's, like, decent. Like, I think in ranked, like, a good Zarya can get a lot of value, especially on the right maps. She just put out insane damage. It's just, like, she just gets absolutely floored by Ram Mei. Like, she just gets destroyed by Ram Mei and Bastion. So, with all of those heroes and that kind of rush comp being good, it really depends on what the other team plays, but on the right situations, you can get value. So, I can't put her in A and S tier because, again, there's just too many answers to her in the game. And she's very map dependent, and her maps aren't great right now, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I think Zarya can definitely find her way into some playtime. Zenyatta, S tier. Zen is fucking crazy, dude, especially on the right maps. He just does so much damage. Knowing who to Harmony Orb and who to Discord is just so valuable, especially against, like, Ram or Ryan or Ball even. Like, you almost have to have a Zen to kill him. Zen is a do-it-all character, insane power, kick to CC people off of him, Trank, a great ult. Zen, just a crazy, crazy strong character right now. Now, here's where it gets interesting. We have Ana, who has been nerfed, and because of that, I'm going to put her in B tier. She had maps on the previous pack where she was played a lot, but with the Sleep Dart nerf, I think it's going to hurt her a little bit. But with Brig being better, that's also going to help Ana Brig comps be played too. You see a lot of double flex support being played on maps like New Queen Street, like Ana Zen comps, or even Junkrat Town sometimes, right? So I think Ana's still a solid pick. She's still a solid pick. There are some situations where you can't force her, right? Like in Brawl, I don't think she's very good. But, you know, on those poke maps or double flex support maps, like Ana still is going to see some playtime. So I still think Ana's a solid hero, especially if Winston ends up being good too. Ana Winston, great comp. Sombra, got a small buff. I think I kind of want to put Sombra in A tier. She's another one of those heroes that you can force almost anywhere that's not like a hard rush. Like if you're on King's Row, you can't really pick Sombra into Mei Cass or Mei Hanzo, right? But pretty much any other map you can. So like New Queen Street, like Sombra's really good on push. She's really good on Koth, depending on the Koth map, obviously. But, you know, I think Sombra is a solid pick, especially if ball comps end up being very good with Brig, right? EMP could end up doing a lot of damage and helping kill those backlines. I think Orisa's just kind of bad. I think she's either going to be really good or really bad. She has nothing she excels at right now. So there's no reason to pick her over Ramattra or Ryan in the brawl. Like she's the worst brawl tank for sure. Even Zarya, I think, is better. I just don't see a reason to really be playing Orisa. So I'm going to put Orisa in the C tier. Doomfist. With these Brig changes, dude, I'm putting him in B tier. I think Doom is a big loser this patch. The nano helps a lot. Like the nano nerf helps a lot. Or sorry, the sleep nerf helps a lot. But if they pick Brig now and they just into you as Doom, like not only are going to catch your dive, but they can just completely thwomp your cooldown cycle with Rally. In those fights. And I think that actually is a big deal for Doomfist. It makes Brig a much better pick into him because, again, when he goes in, if he gets nanoed or something happens, she can actually bash him out of his cooldown cycle now, and she couldn't do that before. So when she's rallying, she has a direct answer to Doom's cooldown. So I think Doom is still good. I just don't think he's insane. Like I can't willingly put him in A tier when I think Winston is just going to be a much better pick than he is. So Moira can now fade and Cole. I'm not a big Moira fan. I'm not. I don't think this hero is designed well for this game. I think she's corny. I think she's cheese, and I don't like the changes they're giving her. She's just a stat hero, and she's good in ranked, I guess, but like at high level play, you still don't really want a Moira on your team over a Bap or over an Ana or over any of the other supports, just because like players are actually good with that utility. And generally speaking, the Moira players that have climbed up don't have the game knowledge of the other characters, right? Because Moira's is a much more forgiving character. So like there's a couple Moira players who are really, really good, but for the most part, like generally speaking, that's not really true. No offense. That's not a shot. It's just like, you know, a lot of the Ana players like had to learn more punishing positioning and setups, and a lot of the pro players have more time on Ana in my rank. But in your all's ranks, I would say Moira is probably like B tier, right? Just in my rank, I would say I don't want a Moira on my team, so I'm putting that at C tier. Brig, and this is where it's tough, man. Okay, so in the Brawl, I still think Brig is bad, right? Especially because the Brawl tank is Ram right now, which is just so good into Brigitte. On the right map, I think Brig is really good now. On the Brawl maps, I still don't think she'll get played. And if she does get played, I'll actually be kind of surprised because her mid-fight got slightly nerfed. Her pack range got nerfed, but Rally is insane now. So I'm definitely putting Brig in A tier. I almost want to put her in S tier. I almost want to put her in S tier. The only reason I'm not putting her in S tier, the only reason I'm not putting her in S tier is because Ram hasn't been nerfed, and on those Ram maps, like you're still gonna see Rush on the Rush maps, right? It's just on the maps that aren't Rush where Brig is good. Like, you know, if you like, you can play on a Monkey or on a Zen, or sorry, on a Brig Monkey or Zen Brig. Like Brig Zen's gonna get picked a lot more now. It's just gonna get picked a lot more now. It's just like indirectly into the game at the pro meta. Brig isn't that strong. But in ranked, if this is a ranked tier list, in ranked, I think Brig is S tier. I think she's so good in ranked. I don't know how good she's going to be in plat because plat players still don't know how to play her, right? But you know what? Those stats are too much. I know better. I've looked at this game for a long time. When she has an effective like 1,200, 1,300 health pool that can regenerate and she instantly gets 100 armor, that's just a win button. And anybody who doesn't think that's a win button is off the crack pipe, because that is such a crazy, crazy amount of utility and Rally for that health pool. So until the stats get nerfed, I just got to put her in S tier and ranked. I think Rally is literally just a win button. If they don't have a Brig Rally to match it, you can just walk through a window now. Like, you can just do so much damage to people. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put Brig in S tier just for comp. I think in comp it's so good, but I don't think she's gonna be permaplayed in pro play. I think that Ram Rush is still gonna be so good on a lot of these maps. Ball. I'm gonna put Ball in A tier. Ball is really good into Brig. Like, whenever Brig's good, like Ball or Monkey comps get played a lot to try to wrap around things and go dive things and stuff. So I still think Ball is like an A tier pick. I think he's really, really solid. We'll see how he ends up being in this meta though. Ashe, I'm gonna put in B tier. I think Mercy, like the way the game's going right now, like maybe if Brig Zen gets played a lot, Ashe could be good because the Dynamite's really good into that and Bob is really good into that. But she can no longer build another Bob when one's up already. So I don't know. I think that Ashe is just kind of B tier. I think she's middle of the pack. I don't think she excels in any of these situations right now, but she's also not bad. It's just there are things that are better than her. Baptiste, I'm going to put in A tier. I think Bap is the best support to play with Rush. LifeWeaver might give him a run for his money, but I think Bap, especially after his buffs, is just a really, really strong character and can get a lot done. So I am a big fan of Bap. I think Bap is in a strong spot. Sigma got a couple nerfs, but he's still good. I mean, It's a very slight like adjustment to his rock. The impact damage doesn't do as much, and the stun duration lasts longer, so he can't one-shot combo, but he's still going to get picked where he, like, in the situations where he's good. He's good for his uptime on maps like Circuit, Junkrat, et cetera, and his ability to poke, so that's not really changed at all. So Sig is still an A-tier pick, has the situations where he's very good. Echo. You know, I think Echo's actually a winner this patch. I think Echo is back in A-tier. Copy is still really bad, and they need to do some quality of life changes to it for sure. But with the cast nerfs coming in, so you actually be able to kill him, and most importantly, Brig, right? If Brig gets played a lot more, Echo is going to be a lot better because that means it's going to be the dive comps that Echo's good into, and Brig copy will be really, really good because you just become a tank, and it's one of those heroes that you instantly get 100 armor with and an insane shield. So like copying and getting rally will be incredibly valuable. And if it's Brig Ana, I don't think there'll be cast being played with it. I think it would be like Echo Tracer or something like that. We'll see. I don't think Echo's going to be insane, but I think she's like B+, A- tier. She's not great into rush. Like those rush maps still are not going to be insane for like Brig or Echo. But the better Brig gets, the better it is for Echo. So that's kind of why Echo's kind of gone back up. And most importantly, Cass, a hero that was gatekeeping her really hard, got some nerfs. 25 health is a big deal for Echo Beam. It's a big deal for Echo Beam. So it's going to be easier to burst him and get him to half health, so that you can actually get the beam activated. So yeah, Sojourn. I still think Sojourn is really good. She's not great into the Ram Rush, but I still think she's a strong hero. I'm going to put Sojourn in A tier. She's hard to play. So I don't think she's S tier because she's not great in the rush comps, right? But she's good in like the Winston rush. So if it's like Lucio, Kiri, Winston, she's really good. So again, it really depends on which way the meta goes. But she's definitely a solid pick right now. She's definitely up there with Cassidy as like being a very, very strong contender. Junker Queen. I don't really know where to put Queen. I want to put Queen in B tier. I think Kiriko counters her really well. If Brig's good, that probably will help Junker Queen, but it'd have to be Lucio Brig, and I don't think that's going to be what's run because Ram Rush just screws it. I think Ramattra is really hard gatekeeping a lot of the tanks right now because he's really strong. He's not OP, he's just really strong. So yeah, we'll get to Ramattra here in a second, but I think Queen is just a B tier character. Kiriko, I don't think this is going to surprise anybody. Still an S tier character. She's super, super strong. You can play her literally anywhere. She's played in a ton of different comps, tons of utility. Kitsune is insane, right? Just an insane hero, especially at the highest level of play. So Kiriko, staying in that S tier. I still think Kiri is really, really good. Ramattra, I'm also going to put Ram in S tier. I think Ram is the only S tier tank. I think he's insanely strong. Ram rush comps are really, really good. His ult is really, really good. And he's the only tank that really hasn't got, like, he had that ult adjustment, right? But he got those big Nemform buffs. And, like, we have not looked back since. And so he's just been able to play very consistently. Like, he doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, which is why people don't talk about him, because the metal ranks, they just pick Reinhardt and run things over. But if you learn Ram's cooldown cycle, he is insane, especially with his ultimate. His ultimate is still really good, right? So I think Ram's kind of in a balanced spot, but I do think that he's the best tank. Like, if I had to pick one tank to play no matter what, especially with LifeWeaver coming up, who will be able to pocket Ram really well, I think Ram LifeWeaver could be a very dangerous comp, and LifeWeaver could end up replacing Bap in that comp, right? I think Ram is just really good. So Ram is S tier, and that is my season 4 tier list coming at you guys hot. 3 supports in S tier. No real surprise there. I don't think they're the only support that's not in 8. Wait, Ana's in B tier. Yeah, okay. Ana and Mercy. So yeah, again, support still really, really strong role. Crazy buffs across the role for this patch. And yeah, this should be a good one. So that's my ranked tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.